Hey everybody, Film Cricket here. I am back. So it's been a while. Been really busy. I started up the channel a little bit ago. Then I got a new job on the civilian side. I had a lot of military things going on, and I'm just now getting back to it. My kids are saying, "Hey, Dad, you gotta start making movies again, film cricket movies again." So, got my new format here. I hope you all like it. We'll be reviewing Captain America: Brave New World. Okay, so yeah, Captain America: Brave New World. Spoiler free in the beginning. It's not bad, right? I'm gonna tell you all now. It's not a bad movie. Could be better. I don't want to really give too much away here as we start because I know a lot of people don't like to know what happens in a movie before they go see it. So that's fine. That's cool. Not a problem. If you're a Marvel fan, if you like going and seeing all the movies, if you think that you can't miss anything because of how the universe is all set up, like, I get that, right? Go watch this movie. I'm not telling you in any way, shape, or form you shouldn't go see it. Know that there are some issues. Know that you have to have watched a couple other ones to really fully understand what's going on, and that's okay, right? Like, so if you saw the original Incredible Hulk way back when Edward Norton was playing the Incredible Hulk, that plays heavily into this movie. If you watched Falcon and Winter Soldier on Disney Plus, well, I'm sorry you sat through that whole show, but it will help you understand this a little bit more. And then if you've seen the Eternals, again, sorry you sat through the Eternals, but it will help you understand this show. Right now, currently, this movie has 51 critic score and 79 audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. I'll take that for what it's worth. Actually, I'm a little surprised that the critic score is as low. And that the audience score is a little high. You know, listening to people like Nerdrotic or Critical Drinker, they're gonna probably rip this apart. I know they've been talking bad about it for months, and that's okay. I actually respect both of those people immensely, and I would listen to them, and I do listen to them. But I would have thought that would have had bigger audience score effect. It really didn't, which is surprising to me. I will say this movie actually looks like a movie, right? Phase 4 was so bad. It was so bad. And a lot of the movies that came out in Phase 4 looked like they were made for streaming. It looked like they were made as a Marvel project to be put on Disney Plus. The filming was bad. You go back and watch, like, say, the Marvels and compare that to the Infinity War, Endgame, most of the Captain America movies. Just run through the list of, like, Phase 1, 2, and 3, and, like, Marvels and other Phase 4 movies just look very cartoon, very cheap production. This doesn't have that. This has an actual feel of a movie, like you're going and sitting down and you're spending money on a ticket and you're watching it. It's okay. Watch this movie for that. So the cinematography is better. There are a few green screeny type shots where I felt like I was being taken out of the movie watching it. I'm going, what are you standing in front of? Because that doesn't look real. The irony is it may have been real, but it just, the proportion and it seemed like there was something behind them or something. The cast is Anthony Mackie as Sam Wilson, Captain America. You're going to know him as Falcon. That's how I know him as Falcon. He's a darn fine Falcon. He's not a darn fine Captain America. We can get into that. Harrison Ford is playing Thaddeus Ross. There is a comment that he looks different from Thaddeus Ross that you're used to because the guy who played Thaddeus Ross before died. So, like, and he had the big mustache, right? And then before he was in all of the Avengers movies. He was in the Incredible Hulk way back when, and he died. So they lost the mustache, made Harrison Ford be like, "Oh yeah, I look different because of the election," because Thaddeus Ross ran and won the presidency. I'm not spoiling anything with this. This is pretty much all basic stuff. And then again, you get this from the trailers. He's also playing the Red Hawk. Danny Ramirez is the new Falcon. He's kind of in the movie taking over for Falcon. You see him in the previews a lot. If he comes through the scroll, I'll point him out. But young kid, good actor. I had no problem with him at all, actually. I mean, his character was your stereotypical, hey, look at I'm a smart alecky guy, but which Marvel doesn't really need any more of, but that's okay. He's a good actor, good in the movie. Probably actually one of the better people in it, besides Anthony Mackie. And I'm not going to say these other names necessarily right. Shira Haas, she played Ruth Bat Saraf, or Sabra. Again, I'm not saying it right. I'm not familiar with her from the comics, but yeah, apparently she's Jewish. She is like heavily Jewish. She is Jewish, a Jewish superhero. They don't touch on that at all in this, in this movie. They wanted to pretend like that's not a thing. They talk about how she was part of the Black Widows at one point, and we'll touch on some of that later. But they really lean away from her Jewish. Like she was part of the Mossad apparently in the comics. They lean away from that for reasons you can imagine. Carl Lumbly plays Isaiah Bradley. If you don't know who that is, in the Falcon and Winter Soldier movie, they talk about how he was another super soldier, kind of like Steve Rogers. He came after Steve Rogers, but everybody forgot about him. The government locked him up and experimented on him. And he's in this. He was in Falcon Winter Soldier, so they bring him back here. Tim Blake Nelson, he plays the leader. They never call him the leader in the movie, right? I forget what they call him in the movie, but his character is the leader, and that's set up way back in Incredible Hulk, and we'll talk more about that. And then Giancarlo Esposito plays Sidewinder. Okay. Good cast, all people. I'm not big on Shira Haas, but it's a good cast, all people worth watching. Anthony Mackie, charming guy, good-looking guy, always kind of seems to have that smirk on his face when he's talking, or at least a lot of times. Doesn't always play well. And the problem is, as good of a Captain America as he is or may be, he is sorry, as good as a Falcon as he is or may be, he is not a good Captain America. I'm sorry, he's not, and it may be the fault of Marvel for making him Captain America all these years. What do I mean by that? Or Falcon all these years. What do I mean by that? Okay, well, with him having been Falcon, and we're used to seeing him as Falcon, and that's all great. It's hard to make that shift into, okay, now he is Captain America, right? I don't know how you like in your brain just automatically go, oh, he's Captain America. I mean, I guess some people can, and they picked up that mantle literally during the movies, then they carried it on through Falcon and Winter Soldier. But I see him and I see Falcon. Again, darn fine Falcon. But not Captain America. And the problem is, you see that during the movie too. So certain things happen that you take for granted with Steve Rogers. Steve Rogers has a super soldier serum in him. And so when he throws the shield and it bounces off of 5 people and then he catches it, or throws it, bounces off a wall and he catches it, you buy, okay, fine. He has these super reflexes. He can calculate in his head. He's Captain America, super serum, stuff like that. He stomps on the shield and catches it up into his arm, right? It looks cool. Super soldier serum, right? Okay, I can accept that. When Falcon does it, and I'm sorry, I'm just going to call him Falcon because that's not Captain America. I'm sorry, that's not. It's not as believable. I just can't get over it. Now, my daughter told me, she said, well, Dad, it's all It's all comics books movies, and it's stupid and it's fake, and yeah, I mean, I guess that's right, but they still have to operate within the world they're in. And it's funny because in one of the movies, I believe it was Civil War, Spider-Man's like, this shield doesn't operate with any of the laws of physics or something like that, right? But okay, please try and make it make sense for me. They do play off of some of that by saying that the Falcon, Captain America, has wings. You'll see them kind of glow orange and stuff, like when he flew through the rocket there a couple minutes ago. They'll glow orange a little bit, or glow purple, because he has body armor now made from Wakanda. But even that doesn't exactly play right, because there's certain things that shouldn't, the body armor is just not going to do it, right? They play it right in that a couple times he gets hit, it absorbs the energy. Really, in fact, you see him go, "Oh my gosh, that's a lot of energy." And then, see, how does he do that? He shouldn't be able to do that. Anyway, absorbs the energy, and you're okay with it. But there's another part, and spoiler here, real quick, for people that don't want to know too much about the Hulk fight. He catches like the Hulk, or the Red Hulk swings a flagpole, and he catches it, right, and his booster turns on to keep it from going and pushing him back. Okay, the booster's holding him forward, but his arms are snapping right now, people. I mean, again, stay in universe. If the Hulk is pushing a pole into you and you're trying to hold it back, those are your arms, those are your wrists, those are your hands you caught it with. It just bothers me when they're that lazy, and that seems lazy to me. There's another part where the one bad guy, Sidewinder, hits him with the axe in the side and throws a throwing knife into his chest, and he kind of just shrugs it off. Now, a lot of movies have that problem. They just say, "Oh, you're hurt, now you're healed. It's cool. We gotta keep going with the story." But he plays it off in the movie as he has Kevlar cloth, like his shirt's made of Kevlar. That's not how Kevlar works, right? If the knife gets into him, it doesn't automatically heal you. The axe that hits him in the side gets stuck into him. Kevlar might have stopped it. Okay, fine. It would have broken a couple ribs, but it wouldn't have then stuck into him. So we need to remember which of our superheroes are actually super enhanced and which are just people. And when you have one that's just a person, you can't pretend that they're super enhanced just to make the movie better. Sabra, or in the movie Ruth, she's played, Shira Haas is just too small of an actress to be convincing. I don't think she's a very good actress in general. Like, I'm watching her and she kind of bothered me on screen. Okay, fine. Maybe she's not my cup of tea. That's okay. You might like her. If you do, good. But she's tiny. I mean, she's tiny. She's like 5 feet, maybe just under. My daughter looked it up. She put her at 4'8". I saw something that said she was 5 feet. She weighs like 108 pounds. And you'll watch in these clips, you'll see her like in the hallway just like flipping people. Sure, trained by the Black Widows. She had the special ability through that, I guess. But there's a point where physics have to play, right? And some of these dudes that she just tosses are huge. They could pick her up and break her. Okay, in the movie, she plays a advisor to the president. She says she's a security advisor. She's Black Widow trained, all this. And if she would have just stayed in the advisor role, that would have been okay. I would have been fine with that. I would have been like, all right, cool. She's an advisor. You don't have to be huge to be an advisor. No problem. But they felt like they needed to give her a big fight scene for some reason. And when it happened, it didn't even have to happen. Like, she didn't have to do that. Or not to the extent she did. So it was weird. Like I said, go watch Incredible Hulk before this, Eternals before this, Falcon and Winter Soldier before this. If you don't, they'll still catch you up. See, there she is. Why is she flipping that dude like that? Come on. Anyway, watch this. You've probably been caught up enough as to what it means. That's fine. Get a friend that knows Marvel. That's fine. If they drag you to it, say, hey, just give me the quick basics of what I'm going to need to know about this. You'll be fine. They'll catch you up enough in the movie. This movie did go through a lot of rewrites and reshoots. Originally, it was titled New World Order, not Brave New World. They changed that. I guess it wasn't politically working. The Falcon and Winter Soldier show was really PC, woke. A lot of people didn't like that. I didn't like it. Like when he's lecturing the senators, you got to do better, Senator. Oh, come on, stop. Just stop. Okay, I don't need to be lectured. And it did a lot. I could go. That's another review in and of itself. It's not good. But the point is, they saw the political tides turning before this movie came out, and you can tell, man, they chopped this up. Some things were happening that people had information they shouldn't have had based off of the movie, but for some reason they did. That was a little jarring. You can see some other things have maybe been cut out in the trailer that you'll see online or wherever you may have seen the trailer. You know, you see the president go, "You're no Steve Rogers." That's my Harrison Ford impression. You're welcome. And Falcon goes, "You know, you're right. I'm not." You know, okay, you're right. I'm not, or whatever he says. He doesn't say anything in the movie. He just stands there, right? He's not. That's weird. I don't know why they did that, other than it had to be cut out for the thing changing. Okay, so those of you who don't want to know anymore, cut out for a second. I don't want to get too spoily here for you. Well, actually, before we do that, I will mention the music. I think it's a little bit, and I don't know why Hollywood does this, but the music got a little hip-hoppy, right? And when they do it in Black Panther, they did it in this. Anytime you have a black person as the lead, right? They feel like they gotta go hip-hoppy with the music. I don't know. I think it's pandering. I think it's insulting. Have music organic to the film, not some sort of, hey, look at black people like hip hop, therefore we'll play hip hop music. That's like having a white person on screen and putting on some country lines, right? It's ridiculous. And anyway, it felt forced a little bit. It wasn't through the whole movie, but it happened. There was a weird road trip moment where they're having to go from Washington, D.C. into West Virginia. Like, I live in this area. They're next door to each other. And they're like, oh, that's a really long trip. We're going to have to take snacks. Well, it's not. It's not a really long trip. I guess they took electric cars so they could go, a couple hundred miles and have to spend a while to recharge their cars. So maybe they thought that would be a really long trip. And then they go out into the middle of the boonies, West Virginia. You're not recharging your cars anyways, but I guess it was a cool product placement. Weird. So, I mean, like the music, the road trip issues, those are just so minor. I throw them in there because we can talk about them, but you can get over it. I get over it. I just move on. Well, I don't know. The map stuff bothers me, but anyway, get over it if you get over it, or don't if you don't. Red Hulk in this is mindless, which I disagree with. So in the comics, I remember when Red Hulk came out. I know a lot of people didn't like the Red Hulk. I thought it was cool. I was a kid. Oh, now they have a Red Hulk. But he was smart, right? He was able to absorb energy. He used strategy. As if I remember right, Ross was able to transform back and forth at will. People wondered, who's the Red Hulk? Nobody knew. It was a big mystery. In this, they just go with another raging brute, right? Like they're trying to get Thaddeus to like get excited and be upset, and then maybe he'll Hulk out, and they can use that against him. That's not the character. And again, I know that the movies are not the comics. I get that. I understand that. But if you're going to steal something, try and make it right. And they do in a lot of ways, but I don't think they did here. Okay, so I promise spoilers. For those of you who are non-spoiler folks, please tune off. Here we go in 3, 2, 1. So the plot's pretty simple. It starts off with this idea that Falcon and Baby Falcon or Captain America and New Falcon, however you want to call them, have to go after this canister, the package, which was stolen by Sidewinder. And they go after, see, there's Baby Falcon there with him. And they decide they have to go get this. They've been ordered to go get this. I guess they've been ordered to go get it. Maybe they're doing as a favor for the president. They don't work for the president because he later on says, I want you to start up the Avengers again. But he's going and getting this package. But we don't know why it was stolen. The buyers never show up when he gets there, which makes Sidewinder mad. And it's a whole big thing. So he goes to get the package. He gets the package. He gets in these fights that don't make too much sense. And he comes back, gives the president. Everybody's happy. Then he goes and hangs out with this guy who was one of the super soldiers people. That's like the dude from Falcon Winter Soldier, Isaiah Bradley. He goes and hangs out with him. And gets an invitation to the White House. Isaiah comes with, but when Isaiah gets there, Isaiah and a whole bunch of other people freak out and start going after the president. He gets arrested here. He goes to jail here. Falcon says, "Hey, I'm gonna rescue you." He says, "Don't, just leave me alone. Just go away," right? And in the trailer, they make it look so much darker than it is. It's not that dark. He's there visiting him. Actually, it's more sad than anything. A man who's been beat down, who doesn't want to be back in the hole, and his friends visiting him. In this trailer, they're like, "Oh, you told me to come see you," and he's like, "Yeah, I told you, but never come back here." And it's weird. I don't know what they do, why they do it. Anyway, so it turns out the person that behind all of this is the leader, okay? And again, if you flash back all the way to Incredible Hulk, like the first movie really in the MCU that people forget about all the time, Edward Norton, still the best Hulk, his movie with the leader. So in that movie, you have to just kind of know this. He was, the Incredible Hulk, Bruce Banner was calling himself Mr. Green, and he was sending his blood work off to a scientist to help him with it, and his name was Mr. Blue. That's a kind of cool little Easter egg they do in this, and that was their code names. And then when he goes and meets this guy, some of his blood drips in Mr. Blue's forehead, causing it to mutate and become the leader. So he's been in a black site, and he's now mad at Ross because Ross said he was going to get him out of the black site when he became president. But then Ross's heart was bad, so he kept him in the black site, making heart pills, I guess, for him so they could live longer. But the leader was lacing them with stuff to make him into the Red Hulk. And he didn't know that, right? But the theory was that I would make him look bad and ruin his reputation and when he turns into the Red Hulk, and it'll be great. Kind of a weird, weak plot point, kind of a weird, weak... They would have been fine if the leader was just like mind controlling people and they're like, who is this guy? And if the leader was really the big bad guy, but they don't know who they want to be the bad guy in this. All the fight scenes you're seeing of the Hulk, yeah, that's pretty much all the fight scenes there are. They kind of lead you into believing that Sidewinder's the bad guy, that President Thaddeus Ross is the bad guy, the Red Hulk. But the Red Hulk is only in this super briefly. Sidewinder, he's got a few scenes, a little bit more actually than the Hulk, but he's not in it very long. It's just not a lot of things going on. Did you see just where he got caught there and got slammed through the building? His legs would have been dust. Anyway. So, yeah, that's really the plot. By the end of the movie, they finally get the Thaddeus to Hulk out, mindless rage monster. Wilson fights him a little bit, gets him to calm down, movie's over. It's 2 hours, but it doesn't really feel like 2 hours, but not in a good way, right? Like, you're like, I'm just kind of waiting for it to happen. Maybe that's superhero fatigue, maybe not, but you're just kind of waiting until something happens, and when it does, the movie's over. So, that's really what I have on this one. Would I say go see it? Yes, go see it. I really do. It's far, far better than anything in Phase 4. I mean, like, far better than anything in Phase 4. My opinion. And for the price of a ticket, so you can keep up on everything, go see it. There is a Thunderbolts reference in it. That's the next movie coming out by Marvel. They've got Bucky Barnes. He shows up in this. He's running for Congress. And they actually even say, he's going to be your next congressman. Kind of like, he's a shoo-in for this. But in Thunderbolts trailer, which they show before this, he's pulling his arm out of the dishwasher, putting it on, and looking all depressed in a rundown apartment. So I don't know if he loses his congressional bid or what, but he's looking pretty down out in Thunderbolts. So I don't know what that's about. We'll have to see how they transition from this into that. Go see it. Then you can keep up. Go see Thunderbolts when it comes out. Maybe not. But I will. I'll just try and keep up on these. I'm going to try and get these posted more often. I'm thinking I might go see Paddington actually next. Just go watch that little bear be cute. And unless that... Hey, you know what? In the comments, subscribe, of course. Like, ring the notification bell, all those things people tell you to say. But in the comments, please tell me if you've watched some of my other videos and you maybe like this one a little bit more. It's a little bit more free-flowing. It's a little bit more free-form. I try to keep everything kind of in one spot. I hope you like it. I hope you come back. I hope you check us out more. Check me out more. Check out Film Cricket Channel. It's something we do for fun here. I am a cinephile. I love movies. I'll talk to them all day. And if you got any comments that you want to put in the comment section anyways, I look forward to hearing them. So thanks everybody, and we'll see you at the next movie.